Well, every year here at the R&A is a busy year, but this year with the 250th celebrations, it's really added a lot to what we do. The club 250 years old, and I just wonder if those 22 noblemen and gentlemen who founded the club in 1754 would believe what they can see out there today. Our prominence in a governance role really dates back to the fact that this became a very preeminent place to play the game and a natural place to look to for leadership. We think the real key to growing the game is not so much in those countries where golf is already a developed sport, it's in those countries where golf is perhaps just starting up. Everything that we do depends on the financial success of the Open Championship. It is the engine that allows the R&A to perform its governance role, to put money towards development of golf around the world.
For 1 week every year, the R&A takes centre stage as it directs the drama of the Open Championship. The club's 250th year began in traditional fashion, with a new captain preparing to drive himself into office and struggling to overcome the ultimate first tee nerves.
If you're not nervous, you'll never get a good one away. So I was nervous, but it was all right. I just had to concentrate on playing it where I aimed it, and so I did. 1 golf ball back, 1 gold sovereign.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you very much indeed. Not at all.
Good luck to you.
To have a member of the royal family like the Duke of York as captain in our 250th year, it just could not be more appropriate. And he's a great golfing enthusiast, loves the game, is very knowledgeable about it.
The whole idea of this year, in the 250th year, is to celebrate golf for what it is, for the passion that it bestows on people who go and play it, be they amateur, professional, good or bad. The fact that this is a participatory sport, it encourages people to get out into the open air. That's what I would like to see. You know, with one hand it takes away, and with the other hand it gives it you back. It's the most extraordinary game.
The R&A's determination to keep the Open Championship as golf's premier event saw the trophy, the famous claret jug, embark upon an epic journey. International final qualifying events, IFQs, were introduced to reflect the Open's truly global status. Qualifying events were held in Africa, Australia, Asia, Europe and America.
We actually have the claret jug here in Malaysia. We took it to South Africa, we took it to Australia. Our new corporate logo, the Open Championship with the roundel and the claret jug, is getting well known around the world. That's good, that helps us promote it, it helps us increase our revenue streams, and the revenues we get we distribute back into Asia, back into Australia, back into South Africa. So it's all going to a good cause.
I think this is the first time, so it may take a little bit of time for it to sink in, the significance of having the event actually out in Asia, and it's going to grow, that's for sure. Over the years, the R&A has shown a great desire to be more interested and more involved in golf in Asia, and I think that's obviously a very good thing that they're doing.
We want to be the Open. I think if any player has the ability to play and is of a high standard. We would like him to try and qualify for our Open Championship. So we came up with international final qualifying and now are going to 5 venues around the world.
The innovation of IFQs allowed more world-ranked players than ever before to attempt to qualify. The conditions they faced were at times reminiscent of a British summer.
It could rain. We're told that the lightning's about 40 or 50 miles away. We've got a lightning detector here. We'll wait and see, but little local difficulty, I think.
When the rain eventually cleared in Malaysia, 4 golfers booked their berths to the Open. They were joined by another 32 from the 4 other international venues. Back home, regional and local final qualifying still took place in the weeks leading up to the Open. But those from the further reaches of the golfing world welcomed IFQs.
When I started golf, I was watching Seve Ballesteros and Tom Watson and those guys and playing the British Open. And I just dreamed, one of these days, I hope I can get on the tournament.
They call it the Open. It is the Open. It's very difficult for players financially and with the risks involved to go to Europe and qualify. It's a substantial expense and a lot of time. So I think it's fantastic.
That's it.
The club also safeguards the heritage of the game. The British Golf Museum has recently been refurbished, with exhibits being drawn from the Middle Ages to the present day.
Here we are in the entrance to the British Golf Museum in St Andrews, and one of the first things that a visitor sees when they walk into the building is this magnificent set of sculptures done by Tico Torres, who's the drummer of Bon Jovi and a great golf fan. And here we've got the grips of a series of 10 great players, past and present: Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, Nick Faldo. And one of the great things is the way visitors come in and they keep trying to compare their grips to those of their golfing heroes.
Visitors can chart the radical changes in ball and club design over the years. Some of the more bizarre examples on display could no longer be used legally under rulings set by the RNA and their counterparts, the United States Golf Association.
Yes, striking a balance with the equipment rules is a constant challenge for us. We think that innovation in the game, technological innovation, has been good for the game, but at the same time we do want to protect the game, we do want to preserve its essential features and its essential challenge.
Today's more outlandish clubs may in turn form exhibits for tomorrow.
You have to keep up to date with everything. You can't sort of rest on your laurels. So we're continually collecting, and we're looking at all sorts of ways of making sure that we're leaving good records.
A recent addition to the museum's exhibits is their updated and restored film archive, a remarkably comprehensive moving record of golf since the early 20th century.
You'll be able to see very rare, quite remarkable footage of Varden, Braid and Taylor, the great triumvirate who won 16 Opens between them, hitting golf shots in about 1909.
Every Open Championship from 1926 to the present day is featured, with players from Bobby Jones to Tiger Woods taking their place in golfing history.
I mean, our work is all geared toward telling people about the history of the game and about the history of the R&A and how that's developed.
The R&A nurtures the game all over the world. Its annual development budget is in excess of £3 million. But the benefits can also be seen closer to home, just off Scotland's west coast.
A full-time job is employed on the ferry which travels from the island to the mainland, and it's part-time working on the golf course. Sometimes it seems it's more the other way around though. The golf course seems to sometimes seem the full-time job and the ferry the part-time job. We used to just hit golf balls about fields and things whenever the farmers would cut their crops down, short enough for us to enable just to find the golf ball after we'd hit it. And so when the idea was sprung to design a golf course, it was a godsend to us because it meant somewhere we could actually play properly.
But club members on the island of Gia couldn't afford reliable equipment to tend the new course until the R&A stepped in through part of its £80,000 annual programme, donating reconditioned machinery all over the world. The results have been impressive and beneficial to the whole island.
Oh.
To be honest, there are a lot of benefits from the golf course. It brings in a number of tourists that we wouldn't normally have coming to the island. It gives everybody on the island the opportunity to play golf, especially the younger generation and the primary school children, secondary school children. It's fabulous because at the end of the day it really is golf development. We're developing from what was agricultural land. It's mainly down to the fact that the R&A are willing to support ventures as small as ours, to bring them on and encourage people to actually participate in the game of golf.
With over 1 billion potential golfers, the R&A is determined to help develop the game in China. Chinese golf is already governed by a little book containing the thoughts of the chairman of the Rules of Golf Committee. But the R&A's support for the game in China stretches beyond that. The R&A contribute over £100,000 annually to Elmwood College, just a few miles from St Andrews, which provides training for Chinese greenkeepers and club managers of the future.
And we expect China to be a major force in golf over the next few years. And we bring a lot of Chinese students to Scotland to learn the game of golf. So what we've done at Elmwood is a unique project. We've supported greenkeeper education.
We're only sort of 9 miles down the road and we have a really good working relationship with the R&A, and we're really in it together. You know, they're trying to develop golf throughout the world and we're trying to educate or support golf through education throughout the world. So it works really well.
This is a separate tool that's on this machine. What this is used for is when it's lowered and it's in position.
It's a good experience for study here, you know. You know, the Elmwood is a good college to cover all the knowledgeable for the golf, you know. The greenkeeper staff, the facility management.
What we want you to do is to create not Scottish golf courses in China, we're wanting you to create Chinese golf courses in China.
Everything taught is in line with the R&A's best practice guidelines, which can now be easily accessed on the R&A's website.
You should be looking to work with the grasses that are best suited to your environment, so you apply the limited amounts of chemicals, water and fertiliser to sustain good quality playing surfaces. The basic principles are the same across the globe. In terms of developing countries, they obviously have bigger problems in terms of having a trained workforce. So again, the role of somewhere like Elmwood College is absolutely essential to provide that educated workforce to implement best practice principles.
The industry in China needs them, and there are good jobs for them in China at the moment because there's not that many Chinese trained people. So most of them will go back, and a lot of them will come here for 3, 4, 5 years and leave a family behind for that time. So they're very committed to their education, but they are also committed to their country and going back.
With the game booming in China, Elmwood's Chinese students' newly acquired knowledge will be very much in demand. As well as running golf's Open Championship, the R&A also stages and supports numerous other amateur and women's events every year, including the Amateur Championship.
So this is the pinnacle of amateur golf, and just as the Open Championship is the pinnacle of professional golf. It was a deliberate decision to ensure that the Amateur Championship came back here to be played over the old course here at the home of golf to coincide with the 250th anniversary celebrations of the R&A.
288 competitors from over 60 nations made the pilgrimage to the home of golf, demonstrating the international reach of the amateur game.
Well, it's been pretty hectic with the celebrations taking place at the same time, but all the competitors have enjoyed themselves thoroughly, and all the visitors here who've come here to St Andrews to watch, I think, have seen St Andrews at its best.
Not all those at St Andrews were able to watch the championship. The R&A's work is administered by 8 main committees, all overseen by the General Committee. With many of the game's leading administrators gathered in St Andrews, it was a perfect opportunity for the Rules Committee to meet, to consider future changes to the game's playing code.
The first written code of rules was produced in 1744, and even today we do retain some of those essential elements. The use of club lengths as a measuring tool has been something we've debated of late, particularly with the advent of the long putter. Certainly the alternative of saying you have to drop, say, within a metre of your nearest point of relief just doesn't have the same ring about it. So we like, where we can, to retain the traditions of the game.
It is an inherent strength of the game that it's self-regulating. People on a big area like a golf course, if they're not prepared to be honest and play to the rules, the whole game would slowly fall apart. And really, especially at club level, where you don't have referees and rules officials around, it's the bedrock of the game. And the Rules of Golf Committee, in close liaison with the same committee in the United States Golf Association, examines proposals for changes to the rules, make sure the decisions that we have on interpretations of the rules are consistent and so on. And every 4 years, an updated rule book is produced. Not usually revolutionary, but evolutionary, with minor changes each time.
Back on the golf course, the R&A's financial support of promising student golfers, some £400,000 each year, was paying dividends. A former recipient of an R&A Foundation bursary claimed the amateur title.
It's obviously a very special thing, the Amateur Championship, and to win it here at the home of golf in St Andrews and in the 250th anniversary of the R&A, it's just a really special year. While I was at university, they gave me funding for my golf and my tuition and that, so I wouldn't have been able to go to university and play the amateur circuit as much as I did without their help, so it was a great contribution. It's obviously gone towards today.
Golf and committee work complete, there was also time to celebrate.
Well, we've had a whole series of events throughout the week trying to keep people entertained, but it's been quite difficult with the Amateur Championship being played to do anything noisy. So tonight's our first opportunity to really blow our trumpet, in this case bagpipes.
We're having a marvellous couple of weeks of celebrations here. People coming from all over the world for 7 different functions, a huge marquee erected, reflecting how the club has grown, both in its membership and its stature around the world.
Would you please rise for the royal toast? The Queen.
You're only 250 years old once, so we thought it was worth celebrating.
July and all roads led to Troon. The Open Championship provides the R&A with its entire £8 million annual income, around half of which is reinvested in the game's global development and governance. It's important, therefore, to maintain the Open's position at the pinnacle of the game.
Keeping the Open Championship modern, up-to-date, progressive is something that occupies us a great deal. And we compare what we're doing with other golfing events and events in other sports, always seeking ideas, new ideas to make it a better spectator experience, a better television experience, a better player experience. And each year there are modifications brought in to to our practices and methods, and I think that's really been what's been behind the growth of the championship. It has not been allowed to stagnate in any way, and remains popular, and in fact is becoming increasingly popular year to year.
Some of the money generated by the Open is spent on the Junior Open Golf Championships. 89 competitors from 57 countries gathered near Troon at Kilmarnock Brassey for the highlight of their young golfing lives.
We invite a boy and a girl from each country to compete, and it's very much centred around getting as many countries, and especially the developing countries, together.
This is Group 17. On the tee from Argentina is Stanislaw Goya.
It's the first time playing, it's really fun. The course is like much harder, the weather's quite different, and the wind is like really different. I play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I go watch the British Open at June from Thursday to Sunday.
It's an excellent opportunity for the kids to come here, meet each other, and go and watch the best golfers in the world compete at the Open Championships.
No doubt, some of the Junior Open golfers watching at Royal Troon will be inspired to progress and perhaps one day join their golfing heroes at the Open Championship proper. After the Open Championship, the workload continues. Aside from setting the rules, the R&A also strives to see them applied correctly by running referee schools, both at St Andrews and at several other venues around the world annually.
大久保裕二です。日本ゴルフ協会から参りました。
Jag heter Ann-Kristin Konradsson och är nationell domare i Sverige.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Jerzy Czaplejewicz, przyjechałem z Polski, reprezentuję Polski Związek Golfa.
Our referee school has 80 delegates from 30 countries around the world. And really our purpose this week is to introduce the new rules, the 2004 rules, but also spend time with them to demonstrate all of the playing rules. So all of this is intended to try and help them to develop their rules knowledge and understanding, and of course to spend some time with the mysterious art of refereeing.
So he's looking for relief from the casual water. His nearest point of relief. Somewhere over here? Do you think so?
I'm here basically because I am getting very involved in the rules of golf in Puerto Rico and serve as a referee and rules official. I want to hone my skills and make sure that I'm doing as much as I can to be as good as I can be with the rules of golf, and I'm here obviously where it all started.
It's different from out-and-out rules knowledge. It's as much about dealing with people, about understanding that when you go and speak to someone about a ruling, they may be upset, they've maybe played a very bad shot. So you need to be sympathetic to that. You need to understand the kind of dynamics of dealing with people in those circumstances.
At the end of the week, delegates face an exam. Good preparation for refereeing itself.
It's sometimes described as hours of boredom and moments of terror. And that's about right, in that you do spend quite a lot of time waiting for things to happen. But then when it does happen, you know, it can be difficult, it can be high pressured, it can be serious.
I know the rules. I can say that the case is bad or wrong, or you know, there are some reliefs or not. But for me, it's difficult to know which number exactly it is, and it is for me the main mental problem. But I think I'll pass it by.
So this is more than just a rules school. It is a chance to bring people to St Andrews, to the home of golf, tell them a little bit about the rules of golf, of course, but also tell them a bit about the R&A and the role that we're seeking to play within the game.
For the R&A, there is more than one Open Championship of significance. Blind Golf receives financial support to ensure as many people as possible have the opportunity to enjoy the game.
What's that? Just step up, buddy. That's it. That's it.
Different people have different needs on the golf course. Somebody who's totally blind will need to be taken from A to B, taken from the buggy up to the tee peg in the ground, ball on top, have a practice swing. Then the guide's job is then to put the club head behind the ball, make sure that the blind golfer's lined up, facing in the right direction. In the end of the day, it's down to the blind golfer's swing and ability to hopefully strike the ball in the right direction.
We've helped the blind golfing associations in Scotland and in England, and we've been represented at some of their events. We've also helped Amputees Golf. It's about helping organisations which encourage golf to be played wherever and by whoever.
It's a means of staying in society because, I guess with disabled people, the tendency is to lose your identity a little bit, I think. The people who are actually disabled themselves probably feel that they're a bit of a nuisance, and we'd like to tell them that, hey, there's a big world out there and there's plenty of golf left.
Puerto Rico, sparkling jewel of the Caribbean, and venue for the World Amateur Team Championships, run by the International Golf Federation. The strength of both the men's and women's events can be seen in part as a tribute to the R&A's development work.
Not only are there a lot of countries playing, a record number of countries, but I think an all-time high level of countries with young players, which reflects very well on the various coaching programs being undertaken by the federations and unions and associations around the world, many of which are partially funded by our training panel.
The R&A is working to ensure that Caribbean golf is more than just a tourist attraction.
What they need is some sort of public facilities so that local golfers can get on the golf courses. And we're trying very hard to see if we can assist with their government aid to get sufficient money together for them to develop driving ranges or pitch and putt courses and academies for junior facilities.
We're now supporting championships in different continents around the world, which give us a chance to meet face to face with the presidents of all the bodies affiliated to the R&A and develop relationships.
In every tournament that we go, we see people from the R&A that are there, and they have become our friends. And it's really very nice to see how they are trying to get people to play every part in the world. We have made some very good contacts with the R&A. They have helped us a lot. In developing this young kids program. They have sent us a couple of PGA professionals, European professionals, that have come to spend a couple of weeks with our kids and showing and training them with new techniques, and more of that is to get to encourage them to play more golf. So we have been very happy with it.
With more and more nations playing at a high competitive level, the events have grown significantly in recent years. It's a pleasant problem for the IGF to face, and proof of the worldwide strength of the game.
It's a very special event, and I think it's the international friendliness of the thing which is highlighted. We've had a vote this week about whether we should increase the sizes of the teams and maybe have a smaller championship. And there was a huge appeal from the smaller countries that we should maintain it as it is. If necessary, we have to go to smaller teams to cope with the growth over the years. The message has come out this week that we must stay as we are and foster international relations.
Not so long ago, we might only have had 25 countries playing in the Eisenhower Trophy. This week we're up to 66, which is remarkable. It illustrates that golf truly is a global game today.
Puerto Rico is reputedly home to the mythical Fountain of Eternal Youth. The Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St Andrews, however, appears in no need of rejuvenation at the grand old age of 250. The club's year concluded, as ever, with the driving in of a new captain. The R&A may be most widely renowned for running the Open Championship, but in the other 51 weeks, its governance of the game, guardianship of its heritage and commitment to its future development means the game can look ahead with confidence.
I would like to think that those things that are good about golf, the self-discipline, the sportsmanship, etc., do survive and even grow, so that in 250 years' time they will still be the bedrock of the game. But I'd like to see the game growing all over the world and perhaps being more inclusive of all than it has a tradition of being in the past. Although I think in that area much progress has been made in the last 10 years, and I'm sure will continue to be so.